I still haven't seen Blade Runner yet, and yet this I watch. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is the 31 Days of THORGIWEEN, where every single day this month we are having a special Halloween episode. And today is the post-geek out reaction for Boo! A Madea Halloween 2. Or maybe it's Boo 2, which would make more sense to me, but then the two got... I'm putting too much thought into this.
More like Boo Hoo. Madea Halloween.
I think that's why I want to say Boo 2, like it just goes along that way.
Did you see the first one?
No. In fact, I will be honest with you guys. This... I still can't believe I watched this. This is my first Madea film.
No.
Yay!
Congratulations. Don't say.
But it's not my first Tyler Perry film. I will say that. It's not my first Tyler Perry film. I have seen Good Deeds, I've seen Temptation, and I saw one other one I can't remember. It wasn't as memorable as those other two, because those other two were train wrecks. But I've never seen a Madea film before. And I feel like that needs to be mentioned, because A, I watch lots of movie critics out there, and I saw all the reviews for the first Madea's Halloween, and I had heard a lot of critics online basically saying this is exactly the same as the first movie. Like, it is like beat for beat the exact same thing as the first movie. So I'm not as angry at this as other critics out there, simply because this is the first time I've seen it, rather than apparently the second time, which all of them were forced to sit through.
So you pretty much watched two movies for the price of one.
Yeah, there you go. Save yourself some cash.
Yeah.
Although I will go ahead and say I actually am not really that upset with this film. Like, I am not like getting... I'm kind of playing it up here a little bit because like you guys came in here expecting that, but in all honesty, I did not hate this to the point that all the other critics seem to. Like, this has got an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I've seen 8% films out there. This isn't nearly as bad as them, but again, those are from critics who have had to sit through Madea film after Madea film after Madea film, and many of the critics who reviewed this also reviewed the previous one, so they're like, I can't freaking take these people anymore, I can't deal with this anymore, and it's the exact same thing as the movie I watched last year. I don't really have that. This was my first exposure to the Madea films, so I think that like the characteristics of Madea and her whole crew that had worn people down over the years, I'm still fresh to it. Hasn't really burned me like it has everyone else. Like, I was sitting there thinking, you know what, I can imagine if you have had to watch like 10 of these things, you just pulling your hair out at this. But I was sitting there like, it's alright, it's fine, whatever.
Well, now that you're reviewing movies, you might have to.
Yeah. This is the first Madea film. No, it's not, because I was reviewing these things last year, but I was still like getting into the reviewing game back then. Mm-hmm. Now it's like every single week I need to have a review up. So it is at that point where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch some of these now. In fact, there was an ad before this movie came on, which, by the way, they had no idea what trailers to put ahead of this at all. There were like 3 Christmas movies put up there, a religious film they put up there, then Insidious, the new Insidious film got up there. It was like, one of these things is not like the others. But then they advertised the new Tyler Perry film, and this one I'm looking forward to, because this one is going to be a thriller drama. And here's the thing, it is so hard to sit through a bad comedy. It's great sitting through a bad drama. Bad dramas are hilarious. Like I mentioned, I sat through Good Deeds, and I sat through Temptation. Those were laugh riots. Those movies are hilarious. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that next Tyler Perry film. But yeah, so this was the first time I had to like sit through an actual Madea film, and I was actually kind of shocked to find nothing really happens in a Madea film. Like, this might be the exception, like this might be worse than the others about this, but it opens up with Tyler Perry's character, which I'm going to refer to him as Tyler Perry's character, because he also plays Madea, and he also plays, who's the other guy? Yeah, Joe. He plays Joe, who's Madea's brother, but he also plays a character who is Joe's son, and he has, so I'll just be referring to him as Tyler Perry.
This is basically like the dinner scene in, the Clumps.
Everybody's like, it's basically that, yeah, it's him wanting to be Eddie Murphy in The Night Professor, basically. Because yeah, there are many moments where they're all just sitting around talking, and like they will make sure to never get Madea and Joe and Tyler Perry in the same shot. And I was like, dude, you can use effects to like make that happen. Like, it's not that hard. Just keep a stabilized camera and do a split screen. Like, those look pretty decent these days.
I don't know, these films seem kind of cheap though.
Here's the thing, this has a budget of $25 million. I have no idea where that money went. Like, this went straight into someone's pocket. Like, everybody's saying like, oh, Tyler Perry just pocketed that money. I honestly am wondering if he pocketed the money himself, or if he went, you know what? I'm gonna try and make this one even better. I'm gonna hire someone to make sure all the money goes in the right places. And then that dude just ran off with it. Like, I don't know the behind the scenes story of this, but $25 million did not go into this movie. That I know for sure. Also, I want to go ahead and say something before I continue, which is that my mom now knows that I do this, and I tried telling her what a YouTube channel is, but she didn't quite understand, so I don't know if she actually watches these. However, she did tell me last time we spoke she was looking forward to boo a Madea Halloween 2 because she loves the Madea films. Something I was not expecting my mom to say, but I was like, okay, so I just wanted to say, Mom, in case you're watching, I love you, but I can't get with you on this one. So
maybe we're just not the correct demographic.
We're definitely not the correct demographic for this. However, it's a movie. I review movies, and people were asking me to talk about this one. Plus, like this last week of THORGIWEEN, we don't have a theme for anything. It's just me reviewing whatever I think are the things that would make the best shows, the things that would make for the best conversations. Of course, Madea Halloween is gonna create the best conversation. So yeah, okay, everything's out of the way. But basically, it's Tyler Perry's character. He has a daughter, and apparently last year, when she was 17, she wanted to go to a party at a frat house, and she shows up there at the frat house, even though he was like, you're not going to that frat house. And then she was like, screw you, Dad, I don't care, you don't run my life. And she is horrible, and you want to choke her. You want to like just grab her and just like, you want to just, I'm not even gonna finish the thought. I'm just gonna let cool emotions just wash over me. But the reason why I'm saying stuff like that is that the film itself even stops to say that. Like, there are moments in which, like, Joe's like, I'm gonna beat her motherfucker. Like, there are moments where people are just like, I'm gonna get up and beat the living hell out of her because she is such an annoying character. Her entire character is, well, I was supposed to get a car for my 18th birthday, Dad. Come on, Dad. And then his mom shows up. I mean, her mom shows up. And her and Tyler Perry are divorced in this, and she shows up at the school on her 18th birthday right after Tyler Perry got her some headphones. And you're like, you're not giving me the car? You're supposed to give me a car for my 18th birthday, Dad. And then she shows up with her brand new car and her hunky husband, and then just hands her the keys to that car and lets her drive it off. Which, first off, that was the car you drove up in. How did you get home? That was my question. That's
I have another car.
Yeah. But I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, so she is just an absolute bee, and her mom is just encouraging this. But here's the problem with this film instantly. There is no one to root for in this movie. There's no one to root for because you listen to this and it's like, man, the daughter's out of control, and the mom is just making it worse. The mom will not punish her. She is encouraging this bad behavior. Clearly, the dad is right. The dad's also wrong. The dad also sucks. Because the dad, he shows up at her school, and he's got a birthday hat on, and he's like, come on, say that thing. And goes, I'm not saying the thing, Dad. Well, I guess you don't want your present. Dad, what are you doing here? Like, it's apparently like a ritual they do every single year where he pops up at school and gives her the gift and all this. But then it's like, okay, well, just be polite to your dad and like carry this on. And it's like, at that point, you're like on the dad's side. He does seem like a dork. He does seem kind of like goofy and like out of touch, but like, he seems like a decent dad. Then you get there and like he has a surprise party waiting for her, and it's all of her friends from elementary school she hasn't spoken to in all these years, and they're going to play pin the tail on the donkey, and he rented a petting zoo in the back. I was like, nobody is that out of touch. Like, it's the thing where you like looking at the daughter and you're like, you're just a monster. You are a spoiled brat. And the mom is encouraging this. However, I understand why you would want to rebel against your dad trying to keep you at 5 years old. Like, it's one of those where, again, there's no one to root for. Everyone's bad in this. And I guess you're supposed to root for Madea, because she's supposed to come in here, from what I understand about the other Madea films. She's the one who comes into all these films where people are all just screwed up and goes, listen here, you all just need to get in line. And then she just basically lays all the rules down. She comes in here and she sucks too. Like, she is also a bad character. She is contributing nothing to this. In the previous one, apparently, like, she had to, like, babysit her on their 17th birthday or something. And then that's when she snuck off to the frat house. And apparently, from what I understand, in that movie, there are plenty of scenes where the frat boys are about to get with this 17-year-old. And then she's like, I'm 17, by the way. And they're like, oh God, we're all gonna get in trouble for this. And like, that was the big crisis, that the frat almost got shut down because like they almost all had sex with a 17-year-old. Which, yeah, family comedy, everybody. Which I will get more into that subject later because it does not go away in this film. But basically, she wants to go to this frat party, so she goes with her new car over to the frat house from last year. And like I said, everybody has been commenting that this is exactly the same as the previous film. And again, I can't really speak to that. However, knowing what the plot of the previous one was, I was looking at this like, did they put in the one from last year?
It's like, hey, remember me? I'm 18 now, I'm legal.
That's literally what happened.
Oh, shit.
Literally.
Oh, my God.
What happened? She pops up there, and at first, they're like, no, you ain't getting in here. No, and which I gotta admit, the frat boys in the first scene, not throughout the rest of the film. Throughout the rest of the film, they suck. But in the first scene, I was actually kind of laughing at them. I actually kind of dug it, because they were just so overly bro-y. They're like, nah, man, you ain't getting in here. It's my job to keep the riffraffs out. Nah, dude. I ain't letting you back in because we know you had trouble last year. Which, by the way, if you knew that she was 17 last year, but you're okay with her being 18, because in a second from now, she reveals she's 18. So clearly, they were okay with her coming in if she was 18. But he's like, nah, man, last year when you were 17, you were a big trouble. It's like, do you know how time works? It's like, again, not saying I'm on their side, but I'm pointing out the flaws in this film, that their logic is, we're okay with you as long as you're 18, but we're not okay with you being 17, which you wore exactly 1 year ago today.
Yeah, well, did they know it was her birthday?
They knew it was October 31st last year when she was 31, when she was 17, and it's October 30th today, so, yeah, let's get off that subject because it's getting creepy. But it is one of those things where, like, no, I'm pointing out how stupid everyone in this movie is. But the frat boys kind of made me laugh because it was things like a really bro-y dude using overly big words, which whenever idiots use overly big words, I kind of chuckle at that. But also, all the frat guys look way older, like way too old to be in college. Like, they look my age. They should not be in a fraternity. And there's one moment where they're like, it's gonna be lit, it's gonna be lit, it's gonna be lit. Like, the third guy goes, it's gonna be lit. And then the two guys in the front who've been talking this whole time turn around to him and go, dude, why are you even here? You're like 40, graduate already. I was like, God damn it, this movie just point out its own flaws? All right. I'm kind of going along with this. And right before this was like a 10-minute long scene with like Madea, Aunt Bam, Hattie, and Joe, which are the four old people in the group, and they're all just sitting in a room, and they're all like, it's just them. Like, I don't even think it's improving. I don't know if it's improving or written, but I mean, it's like nothing but like filler of them just talking nonstop about the same thing. The thing is, this is my first time ever seeing this group of people, and I was kind of like, hey, you know, it's kind of, like, I'm kind of, it's not bad.
I'm sure after, like, seeing that, like, several times, it will get on your nerves.
And I can attest to that by the end of this film. But it was one of those things where I was like, okay, well, that scene with them there, that wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed that. And then the frat guys kind of made me laugh in this scene. Okay, interesting. But it is, like, again, that scene makes you hate the daughter even more, because like she goes right back to that frat house where all these guys almost just sexually assaulted her last year. Like, I mean, she goes right back to that place and then just goes, guess what, I'm 18, you can all do it now. And they're like, oh, like, the thing is, the looks on their faces, I don't know how anyone could not run when they see that. Because like, she tells them this, that they're 18, they're like, oh, can we, like they're literally doing this, and like that's what one of them is doing, and the other one is just like, nah, man, ID, gotta see ID. Yeah, she's 18, bro. Like that's how they're reacting. I was like, get the fuck out of there now. Run. Like that is the look of a guy who will murder you and keep you in your basement. So that's the biggest problem. And they go, okay, fine, you can come to the party, but it's not going to be here. It's going to be at Camp Darren. You know, that camp where all those people were killed all those years back? So they're trying to do like a Friday the 13th thing now, rather than a haunted house thing. So they're spicing it up, apparently. But then she goes to her mom with her two friends and tells the mom, listen, I want to go to this party, but dad won't let me go to this party. What if I say I'm staying with you tonight? And like she tells her, like, I'm going to this party with a bunch of frat guys when she's still in high school. Like she just turned 18 that day. And like her mom's going around, like, she's an adult, she's allowed to make her own mistakes. It's like 18, like, oh my God, just turned 18. And she's like, well, now you're free to go out into the world. And I'm like, first off, I don't care how old you are. You're living under my roof. You're following my rules. Like, you want someone to say that. Like, I'm sorry, what world are we living in where the second you turn 18, but you're still in high school and you're still living at home with your parents and you have no job or no income, does that mean you now get to create all your own rules? So that was frustrating there that the mom was just allowing her to do this crazy stuff. Like the mom was just like, okay, well fine, all these people got murdered there all those years ago, and there's a bunch of frat guys who tried to sexually assault you last year. But okay, you're an adult now, you gotta be allowed to make your own mistakes. Like she just wants to be that cool mom. It's like, fuck you and your cool mom shit. Be an actual adult, be a parent in this situation. So Madea overhears this, and she lets the dad, Tyler Perry, know. And he's like, and so he's like, okay, well, I can't do anything about this, because she's already left at this point. And he and his friend, who is the dad of one of his daughter's friends, they kind of disappear for the rest of the movie. His friend, by the way, he is the worst actor in this whole film, and he's built like a tank. So as soon as I got out here, it's like, he has to be someone. He has to be a pro wrestler. He has to be somebody like special, like some celebrity or something, because he's not an actor, and he's too damn big to not be something. He's apparently like an MMA fighter. Why is he in this? Like, are they friends in real life? Is that why he had him in here? Like, it just raised so many questions of why on earth did you get an MMA fighter to be your buddy in this film? And all I could think is, oh, there's gonna be like a scene, because he's playing like an overly nice guy, like, oh, it's okay, honey. Oh, well, make sure that you call me. I worry sometimes. Like that kind of guy. And I was like, he's being super soft-spoken. I know there's gonna be a scene where he goes Hulk on this whole situation.
He just snaps. Like.
He just like snaps and like starts, because he looks like he's got a neck so thick, you can't wait to see veins of rage popping out of it. Like, you picture he will just rip that shirt off at one point and break through a wall at some point. Never happens. Like, I was like, okay, that's why he got over here. There's gonna be a scene where he just loses his mind at some point. Not really. No, doesn't happen. So I have no idea why he was in this movie. It was such weird casting.
It's like, hey, you want to be in a Tyler Perry movie?
Again,
okay.
I think they have to be like friends in real life. That's the only explanation I can come up with. But so Madea overhears this and she's like, well, if he's not gonna do anything, we're gonna do it some. So the four old people who, I swear, this movie is an hour and 40 minutes long. If you edited out all the repetitive dialogue just between this group of four people, you could easily get it down to 80 minutes. I'm not even joking. Like, literally, you could cut 20 minutes out here without losing any part of the story, just by taking out all the times they repeat stuff back and back to each other, or they make a joke that's already been made before over and over. Like, Joe keeps making jokes about how he loves drugs and how he used to be a pimp, and you need to be a pimp with your wife. You need to be a pimp with your ex-wife. You need to let her know, like, who the man is. You know, your mama, she was a hard-working hoe, but she was my best hoe, and I was her pimp. And it was like, oh my God, we fucking get it. And if this is the joke that he's been making throughout all these films, I can totally understand people going in this like, I have heard this joke for 10 goddamn movies in a row. I can't take it anymore. Because this film, every single scene just goes on and on, because it's just them maybe improvising back and forth with each other, which, again, I was saying it's improvising because I can't imagine that somebody wrote this dialogue down. But all the improv is just the same stuff over and over. Like when he comes home, the dad comes home and tells this group of 4 people about how the ex-wife got her a car. There's a long scene talking about that. And it's like, okay, well, this has gone for a long time, but whatever. Then it cuts away to her at the frat party. Then it cuts back to Tyler Perry coming back downstairs, going into that same room with 4 people. It's like, I can't believe that your ex-wife got her that car. Oh boy, you gotta get her something better than a car. Oh, how you let your ex-wife show you up with that car? Oh, what kind of car was it? Like, we just had this conversation. We just did this. Why is it happening again? And like, there's so many moments of them like in the car, like just talking with each other. It's like, you can cut out like 2/3 of them in the car. They're just talking about going to pick them up at the camp. And now they're still talking about going to pick them up at the camp. Like, this has been established. We're not stupid. We know this.
Like, I feel like the dialogue, like, was written at first, but then they're like, we need to fill,
stretch.
So keep talking about something, they just like, we don't know what to talk about, so we'll just talk about what we've been talking about.
That is the only explanation, but here's the thing. I could see that if this movie was 90 minutes long. It's 100 minutes long. Why the extra 10 minutes? Like, 90 minutes to me is like the minimum for being a movie. Like, 85 is as small as I will cut you on like an official time length. It goes up to 100 minutes. And like, granted, 5 of those minutes are a blooper reel they put at the end, which adds into your theory that they're just trying to pad the crap out of this thing. But it feels like if you're gonna pad the crap out of it, 90 minutes. 90 minutes is the sign. This is 100 minutes. Which makes me think, I think they just kept improving and they just loved it so much they didn't want to cut anything out of this. But so anyway, they gotta go there and pick her up. What I haven't been telling you is that at the camp, this like ring girl pops up. Like this girl in a white dress, black hair over her face, like scars on her face, and these 2 guys in gas masks and chainsaws pop up. And like they keep going up to the campers to attack them, and then the campers are gone. Like slowly, just the group gets smaller and smaller and smaller, till it is just the 3 main frat guys and the 3 main girls who came there. And apparently, all the frat guys are either YouTube stars or Vine stars or Instagram stars, and I didn't recognize any of them. I mean, I follow a lot of YouTubers. Nobody I know popped up in this thing. But then again, I understand they're not going to the gamers out there and picking them for this movie. Although if you told me that you wanted to get a bunch of YouTubers together to film a horror film, I'd be behind it. I mean, YouTubers have to go in front of cameras. That's not saying that they can act, but it knows that, it means they know how to address a camera, like have stage presence, I guess. I just proved that by stuttering over those words, proving I don't have it. But, by the way, that was not my desperate plea to be in Boo 3. Although I would if they asked me.
Yeah, I'll take the money and run, thanks.
I will take a ham sandwich to be in the next movie. Like, there's a weird, like, badge of honor that comes with, like, being in a crappy film like this. And that's coming from...
I starred in a Madea movie and all I got was this shirt.
I'd take that. I think that's, like, literally the lowest rank that a SAG actor can get paid in. But yeah, it's so weird. And, like, is an awful actor, and I had to look this guy up. He's an Instagram star, which granted, he's a super hunky guy. Like, he looks like a buff male model Jesus. Like, he has like the finely combed hair and just long ass hair, like finely combed beard, and just ripped as all hell. And I was like, yeah, that would explain why you made your entire career off of taking photos of yourself. Not gonna blame you. You can do that with that body, go for it, man. No shame in this game. But what on earth made you think you could act? What on earth did the people who hired you thought that you were going to do when you got in here? Which a weird subplot with that guy is that he has a stalker, and it's like a stalker who he's never talked to, never even like met, but she's like, we went on a date together. No, we didn't. You got my number from a random guy at a bar, and like, this subplot literally goes nowhere, but she like pops up and is like screaming at him from scene to scene about this stuff. And like there's a moment when the girls that we have been following, like the daughter and her 2 friends, show up there, and like the stalker girl is with them, and they say, oh yeah, we brought her. It's like, why? You don't know her!
You know what, if this was like well written, the stalker girl would have been the killer.
Oh, there's a weirder twist
that
is even dumber with the stalker girl.
Oh my gosh.
Which I think it's the twist because they don't actually say it's the twist, but it's the only freaking explanation. But yeah, so like these killers are like taking people out and like then they try and escape from them. But there's like one weird scene where they're driving to get to where they are and the Grim Reaper is standing in the road. And listen, even though throughout this film I'm getting sick of all this dialogue, there is like a joke here and there, and like there's a moment where they drive up and Joe just looks at the Grim Reaper standing in the middle of this empty road and goes, "Oh, I didn't think I'd see you for years." And I was like, that's okay. Like I never got a laugh out of this movie, but I got a okay. All right, I'll let you have that one movie. You can keep that one. You're good. All right, good. But Madea goes up to this guy and was like, "Listen here, I know you, I can't do a Madea. All right, sorry." But he's going up to him like, "I don't know what you think you're doing. Get out of our way right now." And she goes, "Where are your eyes?" And then she like puts her hand into like his hood, which is totally black, and her hand sinks into the hood, and then it comes out like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go." Which again is like, that's a very, like, I've seen that joke 1,000 times. It's like, it's a good joke. That's why I've seen it 1,000 times. It's stuck around. But here's the thing. At the end of this movie, they explain who the serial killers were. They never explained the Grim Reaper, though. Which makes me go,
was he real?
Was that? Did you just stop the whole film to have the Grim Reaper in this thing? Which could add to the padding that you're trying to say that there's in this film. Because if that doesn't connect back to the killers, where the fuck, what was this thing? Well, what was this? There's no explanation to it. It didn't have to do with the main plot. You just stopped the car to meet the Grim Reaper. And like the Grim Reaper goes up and like stabs his scythe into the wheel of their car, and now they're just driving on a flat the whole time. I was like, so he definitely was there. Like this was not an illusion. Something had a physical presence there. There's stuff like that all throughout this movie. But at the end of this film, it's revealed that the two killers were Tyler Perry and his friend, the MMA fighter guy, and the little girl was this girl who you met earlier on in the film who got hired to run the petting zoo while they were there. So I was like, okay, that was it. He basically wanted to go in and just like prove to them like it's not safe to go out and do stuff like this. You shouldn't like go in. You shouldn't disobey your parents.
So
like
he
that.
actually like kills them, or do
No.
they? Okay.
There is actually, I've heard a lot of people say that the twist at the end of this is really terrible. Again, it's one of those where I was like, all right, I'll give it to you, movie. All the campers, all the frat guys who he's been going up to, they go back to the sheriff's office where they've been like trying to convince them to go out there to this camp. And he's like, I have a deputy out there, it's fine. I don't need to go. I have a deputy out there. They go back in there. Turns out the deputy was the stalker girl, which I was like, okay, so the stalker thing was like, she was going like undercover or something to like infiltrate the frat or something. No, she actually was a stalker, like obsessed with this guy. So, okay, which again, I'm just kind of assuming she was the deputy because she's the one person who she gets taken out by the killers early in this film, but every other person that gets taken out by the killers is in a jail cell. She's the one not in the jail cell, and she's wearing a SWAT t-shirt, and I'm like, I guess she was the deputy? Because they never say she's the deputy, but they never say who the deputy was. Mm-hmm. This is the only explanation, I guess. There's so much bad writing. Like, you can tell, like, a story existed in their head, but they forgot to put parts of it in the script. But every single person that they got was in jail, and they're like, why are they in jail? And he goes, trespassing. I was like, oh, that's actually, yeah, you're not allowed to just break into an abandoned camp. That camp is owned by somebody. You're not allowed to go there. They go, well, you can let them out now, right? And he goes, no, literally all of them had drugs on them. And I was like, I don't know why, but I'm cracking up at the idea that literally everyone at this party had drugs. I don't know why, but that kind of made me laugh. But here's the thing. Tyler Perry and then his friend like leave and walk out of there. And all I could think was, his daughter and her friends were also trespassing. Did he just leave them to get put in jail for the night? Because that's kind of hardcore parenting right there.
Although I think she deserved it the way you described her.
I was about to say, like, dude, everyone in this movie is like, you are a piece of shit. And I'm like, Yeah, just go ahead and put her in jail for the night. Just for the night, you know.
Yeah,
just
maybe that'll put some sense in your like scared straight. You know, you remember that shit.
Yeah. But remember that I mentioned the Grim Reaper doesn't get explained? There's one moment in which Madea is standing by an outhouse while Hattie is inside peeing. Which, by the way, there's two. If you want to talk about repetition in here, Hattie at one point really has to pee, and they have a long conversation about, oh, just go right here. Just go right here. Just go like Aunt Bam does. Aunt Bam just goes wherever. I don't go wherever I want to go. Oh, okay, well, dude, go to that outhouse over there. Like, I shortened that by a country mile. That goes on for way longer. So they go over there to that. Later on in this film, for no reason, Aunt Bam just goes, oh, Madea, I got a tinkle. And like, then they go through a whole other segment of, well, just go right here. I'm not gonna go right here. It's like, we literally just had this joke 10 minutes ago.
Is that like supposed to be their attempt at a running gag?
No, like I said, it's just repetition. This whole film is just repeating scenes over and over and over again. But when she's waiting outside of the stall, all of a sudden, out of the water comes a guy in a gas mask with a chainsaw. And they freak out, and there's a whole scene there. At the end of this, when Tyler Perry and his friend are walking out of there, out of the police station, he goes, yeah, man, how'd you do that thing with the water? That was great. I didn't do that. That was you. No. And then they look across the street from the police station, and there's the guy in the gas mask with the chainsaw. And then they run and freak out. And I was like, their costumes to go to this place was a gas mask and a chainsaw. The real killer who haunts this place also has a gas mask and a chainsaw. You couldn't have given like one different thing for that, which would have raised more okay, I don't know. Why also is the killer not just hanging out in front of the police station? That seemed like a weird thing for him to do. But man, it is, Okay, so as I said, I didn't hate this as much as other people did because it's my first time experiencing this. So the things that have annoyed people constantly with these characters and the problems that people had of this just being the same film over again, it didn't affect me. However, there came a point in this movie where, as I said, every single scene just drags on and on and on. There came a point in this movie in which I was like, okay, they're almost at the camp where they're going to confront the killer and all this. There's probably like 15 minutes left in this movie. I checked my watch. There was 40 minutes left in this movie. And that's when I realized this has felt like an hour and a half to me. It's only been 1 hour. And the rest of this movie, that's when it was like, okay, well, you know, I'm not enjoying it, but I'm not hating it like everybody else is. I can almost recommend this almost as a rental to people. And then I looked at my watch and realized, and after that moment, and it just became even more apparent how much it was dragging, how much it was stretching this out, how much repetition there was in this thing. And also, as I mentioned, this thing is cheap. It's so cheap. And there are moments in here where it is so clear they shot this in like a week. Like the first one, I know they shot in 6 days, which you can't do that for a full-length film. This one, I would be shocked if they took even that long on it. I would be amazed if they even like put that much effort into it, because there are like scenes in here where like the daughter is talking to one of her friends and she bumps into a lamp during the scene, and you hear, like, not like as a joke thing, but she just walks too far over and like her sleeve, like her like shoulder like bumps into the lamp, and you can hear like the little cord like going ding 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 ding, ding as she's like delivering her line, and like you see it like wobbling behind her. That's not something you do in a movie. You yell cut, you hit the lamp, do it over again. They don't have time to do things over again. And there is one scene in here that is shocking. Shocking. There is a moment in which Madea and Aunt Bam and Hattie are cleaning up. They're cleaning up the kitchen, and it is so apparent that the mic they had stopped working, or they forgot to turn it on, or they forgot to put batteries in it, or they just couldn't figure out a way to put it in the shot without it being seen. So they used the audio from the camera itself. Hold on a moment. You hear this? This is the audio in that scene. Hold on. See, unlike Tyler Perry, I redo a shot when I'm not in the frame. This is what the audio was
during that entire segment. And again, like all the other scenes in here, it just repeats over and over and over again. It is stretched out. It is so long. And it's 3 people talking with this echo going the whole time. Oh my God.
Hey, we're back. And hopefully our audio is way better. Watch it turn out that I forgot to fully plug that mic in, and now we're gonna have that crappy audio all throughout. Just go and look back at any of our post-gig out reactions that we've done, or any of the videos that I've shot, period, back before I got this new mic. Like, if you've been watching for a while, you'll notice over the past like 2 weeks, our audio has improved exponentially because I got an official mic. But before that, how bad our audio always sounded, throughout this entire shot, it's that. And I'm like, how is no one checking the sound? And after you check the sound and it doesn't work, how do you not go back and do this again? And this is the house that Madea lives in and that Tyler Perry's character lives in all these films. He clearly owns this house. He's not renting this house out every time he has to shoot. Just call these people back in if you look at it in the editing room and go, oh, that didn't work out, we gotta reshoot this thing. It's stunning to me, like, how little like effort is put into some of this stuff. I mean, you wanna know the worst of it? This is something consistent throughout the entire film. Well, okay, one thing that's consistent throughout the entire film, which I gotta mention before I forget, there will be people who just pop up in a scene that were not in that scene like 5 seconds ago. Like, there's a moment in which Joe is talking to one of the daughter's friends in there, which I mentioned how creepy the last film must have been, that they almost like had sex with this 17-year-old. There's a moment where Joe is hitting on like his daughter's friend, and he goes, "You're 18, right?" And he goes, "No, 17." And he goes, "Oh, I was about to make you feel like a woman." Cuts away to something else, then cuts back to Joe in that car, and he is now hitting on her again. Like, you just said you weren't going to do this because it would have been wrong at her age, which not saying it would have been like appropriate at any other age. But yeah, it's one of those where like, you just said you weren't going to do this anymore. Cut away, cut back. That joke is now continuing to go on of you trying to hit on a 17-year-old. And in the previous film, the frat boys were the villains. Joe's supposed to be one of our heroes. Joe's supposed to be one of the good guys. But then, like, cuts away to something else, cuts back. She's now not in the car, but Aunt Bam is now in the car when she wasn't there in the previous scenes. No explanation. Whatever. Fine. Cool. What happened to the other girl? I don't know. Why is Aunt Bam there? Where was she before this? No one knows. So there's stuff like that all throughout this. But the worst of this, that drove me freaking nuts throughout this entire movie, they kept dubbing over swear words in here.
Oh.
Which, like, they would say, like, damn, and you would see their mouth go, damn, and then darn would come out. Or, like, I think at one point they said shit, but stuff came out, and it's like, I know what. Oh, no, it was, squat is what it was. Like, one person goes, I was gonna say bullshit, but then what comes out is, I was gonna say bull squat. And yeah, like, it's so like
what movie? What was this movie rated?
PG-13.
So
here is why I'm going to point out why this drove me absolutely insane. Like, it's bad to like sit there and watch like people say words that are not clearly coming out of their mouth. What makes this worse is there's tons of other scenes in here where they just flat out curse, where they're using the exact words that they had to bleep out a moment before this. Like, that moment where the lady says, I was gonna say bull squat, and like the squat was clearly dubbed in over shit, follows Joe saying, it's called shit. I was gonna say bull, and he just said shit. Why can you not now say shit? What? This, does not compute.
Like, shit's okay, but not bullshit.
Like, I was trying to think, it's like, is it kind of like that where you can say fuck once in a PG-13 movie, but you can't say motherfucker? Because then that's like can that count as something else? Because that's one weird rule about this. But damn, that's the one that kept getting me. Damn, kept getting dubbed over with darn. But Madea would then say damn a scene after she just had to have damn dubbed in by darn.
Like,
it really is almost like this thing must have had like 2 editors. And one of the editors was told, you have to get this ready for theaters. The other one was told, you have to get this ready for when we put it on TV. and then they looked at what they had and went, we're not going to have time for both of you to do this and get it in theaters for Halloween. Both of you have done half the movie, merge. That's the only explanation for this.
Like I thought they'd be like, oh, we need to edit the cursing because we want this to be a family picture. But then like halfway through, it's like this take up too much time. Just curse.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want to edit out the swear words for like families and stuff. Okay, but then Joe is spending 90% of his dialogue talking about being a pimp and hitting on 17-year-olds. Where's the line? Where's the line, Tyler Perry? Where is it? Where's your line of standards? I don't understand this.
He has no standards.
Oh my God. Yeah, this movie. Here's the thing. I can't. It's not good. It absolutely isn't good. But I still didn't really come out of it absolutely hating it. But I was perplexed as shit. I'm sorry, perplexed as squat. Because it's one of those things where like, I didn't understand why you, like, this puzzled me throughout the entire film. Why are you having to bleep out half the swear words when you're having, in the other half of the film, people just saying those exact swear words? And even if you bleeped out all the swear words, the context of the things you're saying is worse than the actual swear words. It made no sense to me. Maybe I'm not meant to understand it. Maybe these are the questions. Again, is this something in all Tyler Perry movies? Does it happen in all of them where they bleep out half the swear words?
I don't know. You need to like rewatch The Good Deed or whatever. It's like
no, because that's not a Madea one. That's a completely different film. I'm asking if in the Madea films if they do this.
I thought you mentioned like all Tyler Perry.
I think I said all Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
I mean all Madea films because. Again, this is my first experience, which I kind of feel like I got gypped on this because this is the only Madea film that's ever been made where no one goes to church. Yeah, because apparently that's like every single movie they have to stop to mention going to church. There is no mention of church at all in this film, which good, because I would have felt dirty if like they talked about being a pimp and smoking drugs and hitting on underage girls, only for them to go, and you need to get right with the Lord. And I was like, no, fuck you. You get right with the Lord. I'm doing way better than you are right now, Joe. I'm messed up, but I've never done the stuff you've done in the last 5 minutes of this movie. Jesus. Oh, God. So, yeah, I'm glad that they didn't do that, but it makes me wonder, are they all this offensive? Or was this the most offensive one, and that's why they're like, we can't bring Jesus into this. He's suffered enough. We can't connect this filth to Jesus. We'll get the hunky guy who kind of looks like Jesus in here. That's as close. That's what we got.
Although I guess like having Jesus in the same film as like Death, like the Grim Reaper and like an axe murderer would not be.
Well, the thing was they had Ghost in the previous one. I guess Ghost. If the ghost turned out to be fake, then bringing it to church is like, okay, well, that's all right. But if you have the actual literal Grim Reaper in here and an actual literal chainsaw massacre murderer in here, yeah, it'd be kind of weird if it was like, we all need to get to church. And like, okay, I can understand that. Like, but then again, it just makes me think, it's like, is this like Tyler Perry like beginning something new? Where he's like, Jesus carried me for a while, but now I'm ready to get my own feet print in the sand there. It's like, I'm ready. Madea can carry me the rest of the way on this one. It's like, I don't need you anymore, Jesus. I got Madea now.
It's like, if they do make a Booth 3, I want it to be like Madea beating the crap out of that chainsaw
The chainsaw guy. That's the thing. Everybody keeps telling me it's like the thing that you look forward to in a Madea film. Like, I've heard people defend him by saying the thing you look forward to is all these people acting like fools, all these people just being horrible people, and then Madea comes in, lays the law down, smacks the crap out of them, and gets them straight. This film did not have that. This film just had Madea going, help me Jesus, which...
You think that might be why...
That was the Jesus they put in there.
Like, you think that might be why, like, so many people, like, don't like this one?
Maybe it's like, this didn't have that magic recipe that they were all waiting for, that missing ingredient of Madea just showing up there and, like, taking control. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what... But again, I really think it's just a repetition. Because towards the end of this, I was like, I don't know if I can stand another 40 minutes of this thing. How can people who have seen this 10 times now be still putting up with it? Also, I think one of the reasons why I didn't hate it like everyone else did is I've listened to critics talk about the audiences they saw it with, and they were like, our audience sucked. My audience was pretty darn good. I had people all around me just laughing at, like talking at the movie. And I was like, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm totally okay with that. If, like,
I feel like
you want to go to like a thriller, you want to go to like a drama and talk to the screen, I will be pissed. You want to go to a Madea film and talk to the screen, who am I to judge? In fact, I'm the asshole in that situation if I get upset with it. I was enjoying that audience in there, so they kind of helped me.
The audience can either make or break a movie experience.
I've seen many films like that. Like, did I ever tell you about that time that I saw Django Unchained? There's, for anybody who's not seen Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio has a very, like, close relationship with his sister, and I was watching this in a fully packed theater, and after a scene between him, every time that Leonardo DiCaprio was on screen with his sister, the woman behind me was just going, the whole time. And then there was one moment after they had a scene together that he left, she leaned over to her friend and went, you know he's fucking his sister, right? I was like, I like this movie a little bit better now. Just because I will always have that woman's voice in the back of my head whenever I watch it. So yeah, a good audience can make or break a film. It was like, my audience was pretty good, so okay, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I didn't hate this like everybody else did, but I fully understand why people would hate it, and I'm gonna have to watch more Madea films now, so... Wait, was there a Madea film between this one and the last Halloween one? I don't think there was.
Was there a Christmas one? Was that before or
no,
after
the Christmas one was before that. The Christmas one was long ago.
Like, I'm sure there was like another Madea one, but
I don't think there has been one since last year, which makes me wonder... Okay, well, this is doing well for him, and clearly he's getting a bigger budget with each one, and clearly he's trying less with each one, like, in all fairness, all horror movie franchises. Well, actually, most horror movie franchises lose budget in between films, but they do try less with each movie. So it makes me wonder, is this just going to become, like, the new Madea films? They're just going to be Halloween movies from now on? That would be madness to me. If like they just dropped all the Madea movies except the Halloween ones, because every single year there's like a unique Halloween film. Paranormal Activity was it for a long period of time. Actually, way before that it was the Halloween movies, but in the modern era, Paranormal Activity was it for a while, then that stopped, then it was Saw for a while, then that stopped, and we haven't really had anything for the past couple of years. What if Madea becomes that thing that every Halloween there's a brand new one of it out? Because... yeah, I would lose my mind, but at the same time, okay, first one was Ghost. This one was Chainsaw Massacre, people. What's the next one gonna be? Like, there is like this weird, like, perverse thought in the back of my head of, I don't care how much it hurts me. I just want to know what it's gonna be. I want to see what they're gonna do next with this. But yeah, this is awful. It's a bad film. It's just a poorly made film. It was a cash grab. It gets so repetitive, and if you have seen these movies before, I can fully understand you just getting like completely fed up with them. However, speaking as a guy who was in a good audience, had never seen these movies before, didn't see the one before this, which was apparently just a complete copy and paste of this, I was fine. I mean, I didn't like it, but in all honesty, I don't even know if this will be on my top 10 worst movies of the year list, my bottom 10, I should say, and I have to point that out because I know it's gonna be on almost every other critics out there, but for me, I just didn't hate it because when it comes to those worst of the year list, almost every movie on my worst of the year list is always a film where I was like, I bet this is gonna be bad. Oh no. Like, it's a movie that I will go into mostly expecting it to be bad, and then it tends to surpass my expectations. I went into this one totally expecting garbage. It was roughly what I expected, so yeah, I never got that, oh my god, this is so bad moment. I was surprised by some stuff, but then again, I thought I'd be groaning all throughout this, and there were even moments in here once I was like, alright, fine, that one line was good. Like, I never wanted to, like, I was just like, fine movie. Stop trying to almost win me over, which, actually, that's giving it too much credit. Stop throwing me a tiny breadcrumb when I'm starving over here. Just let me die already, movie. This movie had just enough to keep me going throughout it. But it was so hard with all that repetition. But I have now repeated that over and over again, so...
Now you're just being as repetitious.
Oh my god, it's infected me.
Oh no!
Oh my god, werewolves! That's the next one! Oh!
I was thinking about like aliens, but yeah, I
I
guess...
thought that at first too, but I feel like that's a whole franchise in and of itself. Madea saves the Earth. Like, you know, that's it. That's a summer blockbuster right there. And he'll get $75 million for it, and he'll spend... an eighth of it.
Just like, so basically the Madea movies are going to be the new Ernest movies.
I was thinking that. That was my exact thought. But in all honesty, they are. But Ernest Scared Stupid tried more than this.
That's
Say that. Man, Ernest Scared Stupid, like, that made me like so sad when I was a kid because it was like the first time I saw a dog get in trouble in a movie.
Aww.
I was like, oh no. The dog was okay in the film.
Yeah,
by the way.
but
This movie could have used a dog.
as long as it survived.
Yes. Weird thought that I had like halfway through this movie is that Tyler Perry has been doing this for like 10, 11, 12 years now at this point. He's been doing it a long ass time. And he puts himself in here like he is Joe's son, meaning he is Medea's nephew. So he's been in all these films. And of course, because he's playing himself, he's been getting older with every single film. But Madea and Joe have stayed the exact same age. What will happen 10 years from now when he's still making these movies and now he's starting to kind of look like their younger brother and not their actual son?
Madea becomes a ghost and then it's really a Halloween movie.
You know how all those horror franchises are like, this is the final installment, and then like 5 years later they come back with another one because they realize they can still make money off of it. Cough, cough, saw. Imagine that.
It's just Tyler Perry underneath a sheet with eye holes poking out, and he's doing his Madea voice.
And the producers are just sitting there like, this cost $30 million for that effect. Hey man, you wouldn't believe it. That sheet, that special effect, oh man, that was easily 30. I saved you some money because normally on another film that would have been 40 million right there. The sheet just blows off and he's just holding money bags underneath there. God, that's what Medea's fake breasts are in this film. It's just the money bags the producers gave him. Dear God. Man, I have seen so many films where they clearly just pocketed the money from it, and that always offends me so much and it enrages me. I have had films where I put it on my worst of the year list simply because its budget was so high and it was clear they just stole that money. I don't know why I'm not getting mad at this one for that. I'm just more of like, of course you did. I'm more just like, listen, if that's the worst thing this movie does, like, at this point, why am I shocked? Yeah, it's weird that I'm not angrier at this film. Like, it's weird that, like, just judging this purely on, like, the quality of the film, it easily should be in my bottom of the year list. I will be shocked if it makes it there, just because I think I went into this, like, expecting it to be so much worse, and honestly, whenever it was bad, I was like, well, I knew what was
It lived up to my very low expectations.
It's like, man, I saw this coming. I'm not shocked. All right, but let me wrap this up. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're doing these for the rest of this month. We only have a week left. I am shocked I've been able to put up a video for 3 weeks straight. That is insane to me. But thank you guys for tuning in. I cannot wait till November when I can rest. But thank you, and come back next time. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and happy Halloween.
Yes, happy
I'm
Halloween.
going to end all these with that.